Good morning. Today we're going to look at some of the pre-registration steps that I do before I set up a company, before I register a company. So if you go to my website, sjnouveau.com, go to the blog page, you'll find a handy little list of links that you can use. You are, of course, welcome to run them in Google search or to type them in yourself. I just thought, for me personally, it's useful to have a list. So we're going to go straight through to the checks. I guess you have a business idea, and we're not going to go into detail on that. The first thing we're going to check is whether the name is registered at Companies House. If it's not registered, as long as it's not rude or offensive or misleading, we'll be able to use it. So I'm just going to search the name into the register bar that will open for you, and there we are. We've got Nouveau Niche, African Nouveau, Art Nouveau. We don't have an SJ Nouveau showing up, so that's okay. Let's go back to my webpage. The next thing we'll check is whether the name has been trademarked. So I'm going to search the UK, the EU, and international trademark registers, starting with the UK here. Okay, I'm going to search by word. The same as similar. Similar is okay. I'm going to put in the name that I want to use and the classification. So this is the industry that I'm going to be in, which for me is potentially textiles, certainly clothing, and certainly business management. So I'm just going to find those on the list. Any additional search options? I don't mind about the year. We'll leave that as it is. The status, I am only interested in live trademarks. And there we are. No trademarks matching your search criteria were found. So that's okay. We're just going to check the two other registered trademarks registrars. So clicking the link takes us to the EU register, and I'm going to put the details in again. See what happens, and you can see here no results were found using the criteria introduced, so I'm happy with that. And then we're going to check the global trademark register. Again, you have the link. It takes you to this page, and we click on Access the Global Brand Database. So here, this all looks quite fancy, but all I need to do for the moment is check if the brand name exists. Now you can see we've got SJ in Korea, Nouveau. So these don't look like exact matches at all. 218 results though, so let's narrow this down. Let's edit the search. Match exact expression. And there we are. We're all clear. If the name is taken by a trademark, don't worry too much. Do a little investigation. See if they're actually operating in it, and think about other names you can use if they're in the same class as you and they're doing the same sort of thing as you. The main thing is that you don't want to cause any confusion to the possible customer. The other thing we want to check is if there is a domain name available. This will tell us perhaps there might be a big company who has a lot of funding that might be planning to trademark a name but hasn't done so yet. So we want to check. Also, at some point, we might want a website. So let's check the domain name registrar. I use Hostinger, so I've given you the link to them. but you can use GoDaddy, you can use, well, any domain name registrar. So if I click on hosting right now, if I search for my name, it's going to come up because I have it. There we are. It's already taken, and it will give me some alternatives. Just do a little checking around the website if it is taken to see how far advanced they are. A lot of companies also sometimes buy up names. So you might be able to buy the name you want from somebody who's bought the name in order to sell it to you. Okay, so going back to my website then, you'll need an address. So you'll need an address that is available to the public. If you're concerned about your privacy, then you might want to consider using a service address, which can be your business address. If you have a shop, then you use that. If you don't, you can use a service address. You can just rent an address for that. The next thing we're going to do is check your SIC code. The SIC code is a code used by Companies House and for tax classification purposes. You'll need to give it to them when you set up a company. If you're not ready to start yet, you can use the dormant code, which is 99999. But if you can, you might want to just find the code. So I've clicked on the link through my website. It can be dormant or non-trading. There's different codes for that. And I don't find the search bar useful. I find that it's very limited. For example, manufacturer of clothing doesn't come up. But I'm going to search through the list, just using the headers to help guide me. Agriculture, forestry, and fishing is not relevant. Skip down. Section B is also not relevant to me. Here in section C, we have manufacturing. So I'm just going to look through this list and see if I can find one that suits me quite well. Here we are, manufacturer of other men's outerwear, manufacturer of other women's outerwear. Let's go 14131 and 14132. So I don't click this in anywhere. I just need to make a note. And I can add it to the form. You can have several different codes. And those are the basic things that I do before I set up a company. The next step is actually to register the company, and we'll look at that in another post. Yeah, so there you are. I hope you found this useful. Feel free to ask questions or make any comments in the chat, and do like and subscribe if you find this kind of content useful. Bye.